You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is the August 9th, 2023 meeting of the LaPorte County Sheriff Merit Commission. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Good morning. I'd like to welcome everyone to the August 9th meeting of the LaPorte County Sheriff's Department Merit Board. If you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Schooley, if you would please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Did everyone receive a copy of the minutes from the July meeting? Are there any corrections? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve as submitted?
So moved.
Have a motion, have a second. Motion second. Any questions? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Well, Sheriff,
Good morning.
you look pretty good considering we got through the fair okay, and
We've got through a lot so far this summer.
Boat
Okay,
races
and unscathed. The boat races, the fair, red wine and brew, parades, you name it. We made it through.
yeah,
Yeah.
now we're on the downhill, right?
I don't know if we're on the downhill, but things are looking. There's some light at the end of the tunnel, I suppose.
Oh,
So
good.
Yep.
Good.
Are you ready?
Yours, yes.
All mine? Okay. I know this didn't make the agenda, but we do have some promotional approval request forms that I'd like to go through this morning. If you want, I can read through them all three, and then you guys can take action on it. Or do you want me to read them individually so you can take action on them one at a
Let's
time?
just do them all together, if you don't mind, Sheriff.
Nope, not at all. It says, to the Sheriff's Merit Board, whereas applicant Jeffrey Armstrong, a member of the department eligible for promotion to the rank of probationary patrolman, except as noted in waiver request form G, if any, attached is found to have made the highest grade in written examination, years of service grade, and service rating grade total. As per a report on the LaPorte County Sheriff's Department eligibility list published by the Sheriff's Merit Board, in my opinion, he appears to have all the necessary attributes to properly discharge his duties in the rank sought. I hereby respectfully request the approval of the board for his promotion to that rank. To the Sheriff's Merit Board, whereas applicant Zachary Weffler, a member of the department eligible for the promotion to the rank of probationary patrolman, except as noted on waiver request form G, if any attached is found to made the highest grade in written examination, years of service grade, and service rating grade total. As per report on the LaPorte County Sheriff's Department eligibility list published by the Sheriff's Merit Board, in my opinion, he appears to have all the necessary attributes to properly discharge his duties in the rank sought. I hereby respectfully request the approval of the board for his promotion to that rank. And to the Sheriff's Merit Board, whereas applicant Wade Wallace, a member of the department eligible for the promotion to the rank of sergeant, except as noted in waiver request form G, if any attached has been found to have made the highest written grade in written examination, years of service grade, and service rating grade total, as per reported on the LaPorte County Sheriff's Department eligibility list published by the Sheriff's Merit Board. In my opinion, he appears to have all the necessary attributes to properly discharge his duty in the rank sought. I hereby respectfully request the approval of the board for his promotion to that rank.
Thank you, sir. Okay, to the members of the board, are there any questions on any of the three promotional approval requests that the sheriff just read? Hearing none, I have a motion to approve all three.
So moved.
Have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and second. Any questions? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll go ahead and go into our agenda items. As you can see on number 1, our calls for service between June and July decreased. Total calls for service decreased 2% from 2,613 calls to 2,548. Our crash reports decreased. Our citations decreased. Our disabled vehicles increased. Our car deers decreased, and all 3 shifts saw decreases in their calls for service. 2% decrease for the day shift and 14% for both the afternoon and the midnight shift. It's kind of, when I saw that, I was kind of shocked and surprised as to why we saw a decrease going into July. We think that's a busy month with everything going on. And the only thing I can attribute this to being is that our shifts were at the shift minimums because we had a lot of guys on vacation, taking vacation time, so we didn't have as many guys out there working the streets at any one given time, which that you start to get the decreases on the self-initiated activities such as the traffic citations and the traffic stops. So that's why we saw such a decrease in regards to that. So, however, year to date, we've seen a 28% increase in our total for calls for service. So far this year, our deputies have answered 17,324 calls for service compared to the same time frame of last year at 14,731. So that's quite a bit going up. We're on target to have a very productive and busy year if this keeps up. So our 3, I would say recent hires, but one of our 3 hires, Patrick Guido, Sawyer LaFoon, Xavier Biggerstaff, continue their ILEA training in Plainfield. That began May 1st, and it is reported that all 3 are doing extremely well, and they are all expected to graduate next Friday, August 18th. I don't have any information regarding that as far as their location or a time. I'm sure the academy is still trying to probably figure out a location as well. It's my understanding they have 190 people in that class, so it's a very large class. So that's a lot of people in location to have graduation. So the most recent hires, which we just did their approval request for, Zachary Weffler and Jeffrey Armstrong, they've begun their academy training at NILEA over in Hobart here, and they're projected to graduate at the end of November sometime. We obviously don't have a date yet for their graduation, but it's reported that the both of them are doing remarkably well also. So Sergeant Steve Listinsky announced his retirement from the merit ranks of the Sheriff's Office. He transferred into the Civil Division and has taken on the role of a civil process server, filling in for the vacancy of Jim Szynski, who retired, we recall, 41 years of service to the Sheriff's Office. So, with the retirement of Sergeant Listinsky, Deputy Wade Wallace has been promoted to the rank of Sergeant. He was next on the eligibility list, and he currently is going to stay in his role as an interdiction officer at this point in time. So, the 177th LaPorte County Fair, which took place Saturday, July 9th through Saturday, July 15th, was very successful. I know, speaking with some of the Fair Board members, they had some record amount of attendance some of the nights. And that with that record attendance, thankfully there were only some minor issues that were reported. And this is something that's very interesting and shocking when I got the numbers from Captain Smythe, who oversaw that detail and did a fantastic job with it. There were a total of 845 hours worked by our deputies that week out at the LaPorte County Fair. It's pretty impressive. So, yeah. On Tuesday, July 25th, we had our budget hearing with LaPorte County Council. The hearings went very well. We were actually able to get some significant increase in some of our line items, including our training budget, uniform budget, our interact budget, our fuel budget, inmate food budget, and also we were able to get a whole new line item for our body cameras payment. So some significant increases we saw in our budget, which was very good. I thought that was good, considering there were some departments that got cut. So I'm thankful. So This past weekend, August 4th, 5th, and 6th, deputies worked alongside with personnel from the Michigan City Police Department for the 14th Annual Great Lakes Grand Prix, which took place up there in Michigan City at the lakefront. The organizers and race teams were very complimentary of our staff and very appreciative, and it was every day that I was up there, it was probably no fewer than 4 or 5 times a day. Either one of the organizers or members of the race teams would come up and were very thankful and very complimentary of the professionalism of the deputies from the sheriff's office. So it was very good feedback. Major Pat Cicero and Chief Mechanic Bob Parks have begun the process of seeking bids for new patrol vehicles. As of right now, we're only looking to get 12 vehicles going into this year. So we've begun that process to replace our vehicles. That's a yearly replacement that we do. I do have a couple of thank you letters for commendation that I'd like to read here. One of them was a gentleman who was an attorney out of Illinois and served as a prosecutor over there in Illinois. It says, "Dear Sheriff Heeb, I wish to call your attention to your Deputy Sheriff Ryan Doporowski, who on July 9th, 2023 responded to my request for a well-being check on my client and friend." I won't mention the individual's name. Unfortunately, the deputy's investigation revealed that a death had taken place. Afterwards, Deputy Doporowski contacted me, and I met with him and other representatives of your department. The conduct and actions of this deputy and the other deputies, including supervisory personnel at the time, was outstanding. All the personnel present exemplified a high standard of conduct and professionalism one would expect from the police personnel. I've been a prosecutor in Illinois for over 50 years, and I've worked with several different police departments. You should be proud to have the men and women such as these that were present on that very difficult occasion. All of those individuals exhibited to me the highest degree of character and professionalism and reflect very positively the public image of your department and county. I wish to commend to you and your Deputy Sheriff Ryan Doporowski and hope that in some way my letter gives him the recognition he deserves. I thought that was very nice of this gentleman, and I have forwarded this on to Ryan Doporowski and thanked him as well for his professionalism. And then I received an email from Chief of Detectives Dave Combs from the Stark County Sheriff's Department. It says, "Good morning, Sheriff. I wanted to reach out to you and express my gratitude for your agency, especially Deputy Jim Fish with the Drug Task Force. We had previously been in contact with this unit regarding a burglary suspect from the Michigan City area. Last week, Deputy Fish observed this individual and recalled my department work in an active case with him. As a result, he checked and found our suspect had an outstanding warrant for this burglary and took him into custody. Due to his prior interactions with the suspect, Deputy Fish was able to assist in an interview process which ultimately led to a confession. I truly appreciate the cooperation that we have received with your agency on this, as well as recent other cases. I know that Deputy Fish did not have to make an effort. He did in this situation and wanted to bring this to your attention. I do apologize, as I'm not sure what Deputy Fish's actual title is, but whatever it is, he's a great officer. Have a great day. Respectfully, Chief of Detectives David Combs, Stark County Sheriff's Office." I too have reached out to Detective Fish with the Drug Task Force unit and also thanked him for his service in assisting. After this meeting, a project that we've been working on for quite some time and revision of our policies and procedures through Lexipol. This has probably been ongoing for the last 2.5 years. This was initially through a grant that we received that the Indiana Sheriff's Association received. We jumped into it. We've been working on updating our rules and regulations and policies. There's a light at the end of the tunnel as we're just about done. This has been a long haul. I'd like to commend Captain Derek Allen for taking the yoke on this, so to speak. Major Cicero, Captain Hahn, and Sergeant Boswell. The 4 of them have worked regularly on this, getting all this and done. And because we're done, I know Captain Allen and Sergeant Boswell are at our training building this morning, and they would like to go over, give each and one of you a preview and a tutorial of how you can get online and review these policies and procedures, so you're aware of what's going on. So after this meeting, if you're able to, again, our training building out at the fairgrounds, they will go over this. I don't expect this to be a long, drawn-out process, maybe 15, 30 minutes at the most and to go over stuff if you're interested in heading out there to see how you can get in and log on. So we also do have a pension board meeting following this meeting this morning. So that's all I've got this morning.
Thank you. Are there any comments from the floor? Somebody wake that guy up in the back. Do you have any comments? Okay, thank you. Any comments from the board, Jim?
Want to congratulate Sergeant Listinsky on his retirement and wish him well. Hope I don't see him up lost in Long Beach serving papers. And congratulations to Sergeant Wallace on his promotion.
Ms. Mock? Jim? Laura?
I would also like to congratulate Officer Lisinski. He was the person I had my ride-along with when I took leadership, I think back in 1999. So, and that was a very interesting day with him, and I appreciate his willingness to do that and appreciate all of he's done for his entire career. I do also want to thank you for the breakdown of these calls, and I know that's more time consuming on your behalf, but I do think it brings more meaning to the overall number. So thank you.
Thank you. Couple things that you alluded to, and I couldn't agree more with you, and that, first of all, the fair. I was out there several evenings, and I really truly believe that the reason we don't have problems is because of the high visibility of the staff that's out there, their professionalism, the way they talk to people, the way they present themselves out there. That just, I think it just kind of gives a calming effect on things out there. So all of those men and women from the department that were out there that put in these 845 hours, I think the Fair Board would be remiss if they didn't recognize that and realize that without them, who knows what could have happened. So.
Right, and the few issues that we did have out there were juvenile issues, and I guess when a bunch of juveniles get together, you're going to expect that. So, although we did have a few issues, it was nothing to be concerned or earth-shattering. So, yeah.
Sheriff, do you have a breakdown on the vehicles? Are they all going to be the squad types, or is that not yet been decided?
That hasn't been discussed yet. I know we're only looking at about 12. I think the majority of them will be patrol vehicles. I do know that we do need to get one civil process car, but I think that we might need an unmarked car or two in that mix, but most of them will be the marked cars.
Okay. A couple other things. Just a reminder to the department that we are taking nominations and letters for the Beyond the Expected award that we present every year at the holiday gathering or the winter meeting, I guess. So we've already got two, which is, I think we're two ahead of what we were last year. And last year, I think we gave away 4 or 5 of them. So we're always looking for those. It's a great way to recognize your coworkers for something that they do over and above. So we'll be taking those. Also remiss, I thought about this about midway through, and I regret that I wasn't on this a little bit better, but we lost a first responder in the area recently down in Stark County. A EMS driver or an occupant, an employee of the Stark County EMS was killed in a very tragic automobile accident, a crash, and I believe the partner on that, is the last I heard, was in very critical condition. So our deepest sympathies to Stark County and those individuals' families, and a speedy recovery for the individual who was hurt in that. A reminder, another thing, we were just talking about this before, beginning the 12th, 13th, and 17th of October, we will undertake the gruesome battle of going through the promotional interviews. I think the last we heard, we got well over 20, I believe.
You guys are going to be busy those 3 days. There's a large amount this year that's going up for promotion.
But that's good. I mean, it speaks volumes of the department and those seeking to advance within. It's just awesome. So I guess that the only other thing I wanted to mention is we can no longer bask in the glory of knowing we're full staff. That was a short-lived accomplishment.
I think we were full staff for about 4 days.
Yeah. So onward, and hopefully we'll be able to get someone else selected and get them through the lengthy process of the academies and the field training and get them back on. But it was a good, warm, fuzzy feeling for a short period of time.
Period of time, but we're making good progress. I know Chief Ott and Captain Allen, they've really just have been blazing a trail and getting these applications and getting them tested and getting the interviews set up and getting these individuals hired. They've been have taken ownership in it, and they've been blazing a trail. Since the first of the year, we've hired, as you guys know, 8 individuals, and that's a lot in the first 7 months of the year. So I would thank you guys for your commitment to that process as well too, and hopefully there's some major light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, I do want to thank Chief Deputy Ott for his communication with me on that. He kept me right up to speed on everything that was going on, and the fellow board members up here, when I would call them and let them know, sometimes at just a couple days notice, that we were going to be doing interviews. Everybody was Johnny on the spot. We got it done, got the list to you for our recommendations. So
yeah, and I was going to say, I know some of it was very short notice because we were trying to move along with this process as quickly as possible, because we were trying to meet some deadlines to get these individuals into the academy, which thankfully we were, the last 5 that we were able to hire, we were able to get them into the academy right away both times. So it's going to cut back on the waiting time there. So thank you.
Right. Are there any other comments? Hearing none, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Have a motion to have a second.
Second.
Have a motion second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned at 9:24. Thank you, everyone.